So to kind of get started on my planned remarks, I'd like to kind of talk a little bit about your city, about economic development, about marketing, about education and workforce development, things for our community, a strategic plan or focus areas for the city, and then finally, I want to tell you a little bit about a communication plan that I have in terms of trying to help be the voice of Casa Grande. That being said, we have a 2-minute video that Kayla put together and her staff. And this is the kind of communication that we want to start sending out on maybe a quarterly basis to developers, builders, potential business, industry people who want to come to town. So we're going to kind of call it the Mayor's Blog. I haven't really come up with the final name for it yet, but it'll be information about Casa Grande. So we will try and make sure that we control our message and our image as to who we are and what we want people to think we are about here in Casa Grande. So let's roll that 2-minute video and enjoy. So now here's where I start everybody in a chant. We are Casa Grande. We are Casa Grande. So let me tell you a little bit about your city. You sit at 1,398 feet in altitude. You have 109.7 square miles of city. You have a population of 53,640. The average temperature in March is 73 degrees for the high and 47 for the low. In July, it's 102 for the high and 79 for the low. The two largest population age groups are ages 25 to 34 and 55 to 64. 12.3% and 12.2% of the total population, respectively. The per capita personal income in 2015 was $21,805. We need to get that up. We have 12,752 young people enrolled in our schools. That's elementary, high school, and charter schools. Largest employers in Casa Grande, the largest is Walmart. That's including their distribution center, their superstore, and Sam's Club. They employ 1,152 people. Casa Grande Elementary School is second at 896. Banner Casa Grande Medical at 650. Hexel Corporation 500. Frito-Lay 450, and Abbott Labs at 400. So, the city of Casa Grande. Actually, it was tied for fifth. There are 450 employees in the city. And you have 5 or 4 fire stations, 27 parks, 1,600 acres of parks, an airport, 52 hangars, 27 park area, 27 park areas that cover 1,600 square feet, acres. I got it. There's 3,996 street lights. There's 396 miles of streets, 290 miles of sewer, with 10 lift stations, 43 signaled intersections. And your city manages all that. Total financial resources available to the city are $246.6 million. That's all assets. We receive $5.5 million in property tax, so not that much. And $113.4 million that comes from shared state revenues and local sales tax. The sales tax rate currently is 8.7%. 6.7% of that goes to the county and the state. So the simple math shows that the city gets 2%. Total budgeted expenditures this year are $174.2 million, and projected fund balance at the end of our fiscal, which would be July 1st, is $93.4 million. So I'm here to tell you your city's in very good financial shape. So let's talk a little bit about economic development, a little bit about the industrial projects we've got going. First is the DreamWorks project. DreamWorks encompasses 1,500 acres. At build-out will be 5,000 jobs, 8 million visitors. It's a 10-year project, so don't get overly excited. It's going to take a while. Total investment of $4 billion. I think phase 1 is about $1.3 billion. It'll have an extreme sports park, zip lines, rock climbing, exotic car driving, go-karts. There's an indoor water park. There's 300-room resort hotel, a wild animal themed amusement park, and 420,000 square feet of retail office space, surrounded by a 12-acre lake that's serviced by water taxis. I can't wait for the water taxis. Lucid Motors, electric car manufacturing plant, 500-acre site, 2,200 jobs, 20,000 cars at initial construction, 100,000 cars at build-out, and a $700 million investment. And a Casa, even though it's not in the city, we're going to claim it. There's 2 separate 2.8-mile road courses, a kart track, driver experience center, multi-surface racing and event centers. It's 2,300 acres, 15,000 jobs, 400,000 visitors per year, a private airport, industrial research and development center, hotel, retail, commercial sites, and residential. And finally, of the big 4, if you will, the Phoenix Mart. It's a commercial sourcing center. You all know about it. Sits on a 550-acre site, 3,000 jobs, 120,000 visitors per year, and more than $150 million in investment. An update on the construction: the shells, the core shell and the east-west walls, north walls are all completed. Structural steel columns and bar joists are all installed. The decking is about 60% installed. The south wall towers, which there are 4, and stairwell shafts are all in progress. 2 large elevator towers are completed. So as far as the electrical, it's in at about 85% and plumbing at about 80%. So it's moving along nicely. Still some work to be done on the sewer, water, and the power, but I think those projects will move here, and the project will move forward. And then I also, just a note, we opened a Caliche Senior Center. It's assisted living. It has 81 units, 21 memory care units, and it also has a daycare drop-in service for your elderly parent or grandparent. There's expansions planned in Frito-Lay and also at Abbott Labs. And then moving to infrastructure, we continue to push the state on I-10 widening. And if you counted all those numbers that I mentioned in terms of visitors, in terms of jobs, if I-10 doesn't get widened, it's going to be a parking lot if all those things come to fruition. So we really need to all be talking to anybody who will listen about widening I-10. And believe me, I've been a thorn in their side. The Courtson interchange at I-10 and the sewer line extension to service the east side are moving forward. The I-10 interchange at Courtson will probably be a private-public partnership, so therefore it will actually get done. So that's a good thing. And then depending on Dreamport Village, the Hennis interchange and the Selma interchanges will probably be moved up in terms of their timetable. Thornton Road to service our industrial park is moving forward. The plans are already being reviewed, and that probably will happen here in the next year. And then moving to land and development, we have over 4,000 plotted land or housing plots here in Casa Grande that are just sitting there. And at 200 new permits a year, that's a 20-year supply. And I've used this figure before. So we did meet with the landowners and builders. We got some good feedback from them. Part of my plan to communicate with some of this video and some of the other, the blog, is to communicate to those builders on a regular basis so that we are giving them positive information about Casa Grande. That hopefully will manage our image with them. We will continue to feed them information like it's a 35-minute drive to the airport from here. It's 20 minutes up to major industry and jobs, and vice versa. It's only 25 minutes if you live in Chandler to come down here and work. So we can go both ways with that. But that's the kind of information we're going to continue to feed. We're going to look at some of the challenges that they had set up for us, which is looking at setbacks, financial infrastructure bonding processes, impact fees, look at maybe trying to bring in new events. I could foresee trying to go talk to somebody like, maybe bringing in a balloon festival or doing, something big along those lines. We have the facilities to do it. We have some beautiful grounds out at the Francisco Grande that could certainly house a lot of people. Anyway, we want to try and manage our image. And that leads me to marketing. I've talked about this a lot, but a destination marketing organization, we are moving forward with that with the help of Helen and the Chamber of Commerce. It would manage our advertising. It would manage our visitor website. It would manage our image. In terms of signage, trying to get some signage on I-10. I know I've talked a lot about that. That's been a challenge. There's a particular state law that kind of dictates what we can and can't do. So my goal is to try and get that state law changed. So I won't give up. It's been a bit of a deterrent, but we're also in the Kit Peak 75-mile light range, so that's also an issue. But all these laws were made before the current technology. There's ways to manage it. There's ways to manage the light and the output on these boards these days. So we need to revisit it. And then thirdly, the education and workforce development. We've talked a lot about this as well. And this whole partnership is actually being led by CAC. They've done a wonderful job. Dr. Elliott has really jumped in with both feet, thank you. And building curriculums for our local industry. looking at trades like plumbing, electricians, framers, welders, warehousing, and technicians, robotics, maintenance, you name it. Doing warehousing today is not like your father's warehouse where you drove just forklifts around. It's all robotics. It's all technical, technician, computers. It's a lot more involved than it was back in the day. Working with the high school districts, or district, the elementary school district, CAVIT, Arizona at Work, all of them working together in a collaborative way to help move us forward with our workforce development. I think it's been a great thing. It's been a wonderful, it's been awesome to watch it happen. Along with the training center that will need to be built, we need to have that job-ready workforce. The other part to that is education. That is, I know that the city doesn't control or manage the education here in town, but we do have an opportunity to talk about what's positive about our schools. Ever since I've been here, when I first got here, there were two things. They said the hospital was terrible and the schools are terrible. And I go, well, that's not true. So our hospital is wonderful. It's really, it has changed a lot, and thank you, Rana, for all your efforts there. And the schools are good. I can tell you, I've been to probably 6 of the schools here in town in the last 3 months. I've been to, they have programs like 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I went to an event at Ironwood where first and second graders and kindergartners were talking about the 7 habits of successful people. It was like amazing. Who talks like that? First graders. And anyway, I was very impressed. And if you haven't seen any of it or been exposed to it, you really should. I also was at Cactus Middle School for the 7 Mindsets program that they have, and actually all of the middle schools incorporate the 7 Mindsets. And if you haven't seen any of that, you really need to. It's our schools are in great shape, I think, personally, from my observations. We've got the Mayor's Monthly Reading Program. If you haven't been involved in that, please look at our website, on the city's website, and check that out. Also, we need to talk about our A-plus schools. We've had a lot of A-plus schools here in Casa Grande, and they're public schools. Valago just went through their rating. I don't know if they received it, or have you been notified yet, Frank? Not yet. April, okay. So A-plus schools like Valago, Ironwood had it 3 years in a row. State accreditation at Vista Grande that they were going through right now. So these are the kinds of things, though, I think we need to talk about, we need to be positive about. And then finally, things for our community, good things, positive things. Things like, I went to this on Sunday. This was the Voices. If you haven't seen this highlights about 12 individuals here in our community that are ordinary people, but they have an extraordinary impact on our community. This is the kind of positive stuff that we need to be shouting about here in Casa Grande. So if you haven't picked this up, this is a project of Chuck Wright. So thank you, Chuck, for what you did on that. We've got our transit study underway. So we're going to be continuing on that. I think we're about halfway through that project. We've got a new city website that Kayla promises me she'll have out by June 1st. No pressure. Actually, I didn't say that she had to promise me, but she said she'd have it done. So June 1st, new website. Look for it. It should have a lot of exciting stuff and interaction. You can actually probably find the maps to CG Mountain now. Right? Yes, all right. Good. I was a big critic of that. The community center is coming, I promise. Right, Larry? Okay. So yeah, I think it'll be before council here in the next month or two. Then we can move forward with the construction. So you should start to see some ground movement over there, at least by early summer. Right? October? September? Okay. All right. There, you all heard it. I got a commitment. All right. We've got our trail and bike systems. There's 18 miles of trails on CG Mountain. It's an amazing thing for the people, for the community. There's a community health initiative that I've asked Lisa and Donna to head up for the city and for the council, that we're going to try and work with all the local service groups to try and bring everybody together. The city can't do it all by ourselves. We need that community involvement. And so we're working on an initiative to try and bring all those elements together to deal with the homeless problem, even though the guy out front says we don't talk to him about the homeless problem. So, but talk about homeless, talk about the mental health issues that we have in the community, and bring everybody together, all the service organizations, all the ministries, so that we can all work together on this problem. And that is my belief, that the city should take a role in being that collaborator, be that person or that element that brings all the parties together. And then special events. We've got a lot of things that are going on. We have Grande Sports World with the pro soccer and lacrosse and the cross-country events that happen out there. In addition, we're working with Grande Sports World to develop play days where the city citizens have the opportunity to use the fields out at Grande Sports World. So we have all those 8, 9 beautiful fields out there, and so we're working with them to put a calendar together. It will be on the new website. It'll be under the Parks and Rec, and you can see the play days out there. In addition, the city will be scheduling events, play day events for everybody out at Francisco Grande. So you can find that calendar, and if you want to reserve one of the fields, there's open play days. You can reserve the fields. Just need to call the Parks and Rec and make that arrangement. So that's a new thing that's coming out. We've got youth soccer, youth baseball, youth basketball, youth football, you name it. It's there. Cowboy Inn, Odemtosh Days, Main Street Festival, Gourd Festival, County Fair, the roping events. I don't know if everybody saw the arena this past weekend, but it was the CIC's annual rodeo event out there. It was packed. I mean, I think they had the whole parking lot full of trucks and horses, and it was a nice event. Lots of softball tournaments, cactus fly-in out at the airport, and I really think, a balloon festival or Oktoberfest or something like that we could put together for the city. I think it would add to our event schedule. And let me talk just a little bit more about planning for the future, a strategic plan, if you will. Larry's been meeting with each council person separately to get their input, and that input that they bring obviously is from the citizens here and the people we listen to in terms of the needs. And the focus areas in 2006 were to maintain high quality of life, enhance transportation routes, revitalize and redevelop the historic Casa Grande, be a leader in economic development, and the 5th item was ensure long-term viability of the Casa Grande region. So after meeting with everybody, Larry kind of capsulized the comments from everyone, and a couple changes to that focus area. We think that the existing focus areas are broad. They're broad enough to encompass the goals and objectives for 2018. Maybe removing the long-term viability of the region, since that should be kind of the implied focus and direction of the city, and then add a little more emphasis to the quality of life focus. And what I found interesting when I went through Larry's notes is the commonality between all of us and the common belief and needs for the city. And I'm not going to list all of them, but I do have a short list here that I wanted to share with you. They were to develop a transit plan, build the community center, develop a parking plan for downtown, stay focused on workforce development, create an initiative to address the homeless issue, like a health committee initiative or health community initiative, and create entrepreneurships and programs for the community and for our industry. So interacting with community and industry. Assess our boards and commissions, and create a volunteer and a volunteerism program, if you will. Community pride outreach campaigns. Develop a marketing plan, develop a city customer service initiative, cover the rodeo grounds, and plan to address public safety retirement shortfall. So those were the top initiatives that you'll probably see coming out from the council. There's lots of work ahead, and as I've said many times, these are exciting times, but working together, I know we can make this happen. So please remember that because everything is possible, with passion first, because we are all connected, and 100% accountable, with our attitude of gratitude and live to give mindset, because the time is now. Thank you.